Not every single-player game deserves full price. These are the games that grab your attention fast, keep you hooked, and make every dollar feel money well spent. Here are the top 20 single-player games that are absolutely worth full price. Metro Exodus is one of those single-player games that is actually worth paying full price. You're getting a full, story-driven adventure that takes you across a ruined version of Russia, with big locations to explore, and a journey that feels complete from start to finish. Instead of staying underground the whole time, the story puts you on a moving train with a group of survivors, traveling from place to place through different environments. Gameplay mixes shooting, stealth, and survival in a grounded way. Ammo and supplies are limited, so every fight matters. You're constantly scavenging, crafting gear, and upgrading weapons with parts you find, which makes you think before pulling the trigger. Metro Exodus isn't just about action. It's about atmosphere, exploration, and the feeling of being on a long, dangerous journey with a crew you start to care about. Silent Hill 2 Remake is one of those single-player games that really earns its full price. You're getting a fully rebuilt version of a classic, and a story that still hits just as hard as it did years ago. The story follows James Sunderland as he returns to the foggy town of Silent Hill after getting a letter from his wife, who's been dead for years. Gameplay feels way more modern this time around. The camera is now over the shoulder, so movement and combat feel more personal and intense. You can dodge, aim properly, and switch between melee weapons and guns smoothly. Exploration and puzzles are a big part of the experience. You're searching dark buildings, solving environmental puzzles, and managing your resources while the atmosphere keeps you on edge. The town feels bigger and more detailed, so even returning players have new things to discover.
I don't need you anymore.
Stay with me. Don't leave me alone again. You're supposed to take care of me.
I'm ready. Emboldened by the flame of ambition. Champions! Welcome! A celebration of war! The Festival!
Elden Ring is one of the best single-player games you can play right now. It offers a huge open world, deep combat, and an insane amount of content that actually feels worth your time and money. Combat is tough but fair, with tons of weapons, spells, and playstyles to experiment with. You can fight up close, use magic, sneak around, or mix everything together. Every boss feels like a real challenge, and beating them is always satisfying. The world is massive and packed with secrets. Hidden dungeons, optional bosses, rare gear, and unexpected areas are everywhere. You're free to go almost anywhere, and there's always something new to discover. If you want a single-player game that offers challenge, freedom, and long-term value, this is one of the best choices out there. Dead Space Remake is one of the best horror games you can pick up right now. It takes the original and makes everything feel smoother, scarier, and way more immersive. The story follows Isaac Clarke, an engineer sent to a massive spaceship where everything has gone horribly wrong. The crew is gone, something dangerous is still on board, and nothing feels safe. Gameplay feels more intense in the remake. Combat is about cutting off enemy limbs, managing limited ammo, and staying calm under pressure. Enemies don't go down easily, so every fight feels risky. The ship itself is fully connected now, so there are no loading screens breaking the flow. Lighting, sound, and environmental details make the whole place feel alive in the worst way possible. Dead Space Remake isn't just a visual upgrade, It's a full, polished horror experience with strong gameplay, great atmosphere, and a complete story.
This transformation, it's remarkable. Don't you want to be reunited with the people you lost? Our homecoming will be truly divine.
There's still a way out for us. But we don't have much time.
See what they have made of it. War, greed, hatred, suffering, chaos. Now you will know darkness, brother. Of a god, kneel before me and beg for forgiveness.
Lords of the Fallen is one of the best single-player games you can grab if you're into dark fantasy and tough combat. It gives you a full experience with a big world to explore, challenging enemies, and a unique twist that actually makes it stand out from other Souls-style games. Combat feels heavy and satisfying. You're timing attacks, dodging, using magic, and managing stamina just like you'd expect, but with enough variety in weapons and classes to keep things fresh. Every fight feels earned, especially when you finally take down a tough boss. The story drops you into a brutal world split between the living realm and the dead realm. You can switch between both, and the same location can feel completely different depending on where you are. That mechanic isn't just for looks either. It changes how you explore, find secrets, and deal with enemies. Total Chaos is one of those games that really worth paying full price, especially if you like slow, atmospheric horror. It takes place on Fort Oasis, an abandoned mining island where everything feels broken. From the moment you arrive, the game makes it clear that this place has a dark past you're about to uncover. Instead of relying on constant jump scares, the game focuses on exploration and survival. You're scavenging for supplies, crafting rough weapons, and trying to stay alive against enemies that don't always show themselves right away. Resources are limited, so every choice matters, whether it's what you carry or how you approach a fight. If you're looking for a single-player game that delivers strong atmosphere, solid survival mechanics, and a creepy story, this one definitely earns its full price.
Isolated and rotting away. It has been suffocating once. Every moment you dwell here will lead you closer to inevitability. If you still had a chance to leave, would you take it?
Hogwarts Legacy is one of the most talked about single-player games of the last few years, and for a lot of players, it feels worth paying full price because of how much you can do and explore. It drops you into an open-world version of the Wizarding World where you're a student at Hogwarts in the late 1800s. The best part is how much freedom you get. You can wander around the castle and explore the countryside whenever you want. There are tons of side quests, hidden secrets, and little details that make the world feel alive. It's easy to start playing for just a bit and end up losing a few hours. Combat is simple but fun. You're mixing spells, dodging attacks, and unlocking new abilities as you go. It's not super deep, but it feels good, and watching your character grow stronger never gets old.
A spell that could save your life shouldn't be unforgivable.
The dark arts seem harmless until it's too late.
None of us will be able to avoid dark magic forever.
What do we do now?
It's up to us. I can teach you Crucio, or I can cast it on you. I'm ready. Crucio!
You've made your choice.
What have the two of you done?
Tormented Souls 2 is a great pick if you're into classic-style survival horror with heavy atmosphere and smart puzzle design. The story brings Caroline Walker back into another twisted situation, this time in the eerie town of Villa Hesse, where she's trying to save her sister from something deeply unsettling. Gameplay sticks close to old-school horror roots. You explore dark, creepy locations, manage limited resources, and solve puzzles that actually make you stop and think. Combat feels simple but stressful. Ammo is limited, enemies can catch you off guard, and you're often better off thinking before fighting. You also get access to makeshift weapons and tools that help you survive, but you're never overpowered. If you enjoy classic survival horror and want a full, polished, single-player experience, this one definitely feels worth the full price.
Be at peace. There must be no violence.
Caroline, I'm scared.
Now stop struggling. You belong to us.
Please.
Rise of the Ronin gives you a full single-player experience that actually feels worth your time and money. There's a huge open world to explore, a long story campaign, and a combat system that stays fun from start to finish. The game is set in 19th century Japan during a time of major change and conflict. You create your own warrior and get pulled into battles between different factions, all while traveling through real locations like Edo, Kyoto, and Yokohama. The world feels alive, and there's always something happening around you. Combat is fast and skill-based, with plenty of ways to fight. You can use katanas, spears, guns, and different fighting styles depending on how you want to play. Rise of the Ronin delivers a long, polished, single-player adventure with strong combat and tons of content. If you're into action RPGs with freedom and depth, this is an easy one to recommend. Prey is a single-player game that feels worth the full price because of how much freedom it gives you. You're not just following a straight path, you're dropped into a huge space station and allowed to solve problems your own way, which makes every playthrough feel personal. The story takes place on Talos 1, a space station that's gone completely wrong after a dangerous alien outbreak. Gameplay mixes shooting, stealth, and RPG systems in a really smart way. You upgrade your abilities using neuromods, and those choices actually matter. You might hack your way through obstacles, or use alien powers to turn the tables. Exploration is a big part of what makes Prey so engaging. The station feels alive, and there are secrets everywhere if you're willing to look. Resources are limited, so you're always deciding whether to fight, avoid danger, or get creative.
I know what's coming.
Some people will never understand what you can do.
Warning, this is a station-wide emergency. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We can fight the invasion. If I can't save us, I'm taking every last one of them with me.
You're not the puppet I was expecting. Who are you?
She was looking for someone. Legendary. She stepped up only because no one else could. Too many stalkers were lost to that evil.
I'll do whatever it takes.
Lies of P drops you into a dark, twisted version of the Pinocchio story where everything feels broken and dangerous. The city is falling apart, and you're stuck in the middle trying to survive and uncover what really happened. The combat is tough but satisfying. It plays like a Souls-style game, but with its own twist. You can mix and match weapon parts, switch fighting styles, and build your character around how you like to play. Every fight feels intense, and beating a hard enemy actually feels earned. Exploration is a big part of the experience too. The world is packed with shortcuts, hidden areas, and secrets that reward you for paying attention. You're constantly finding new paths and little details that make the city feel more alive, even when everything is falling apart. Lies of P is a single-player experience that feels complete and worth the time. The Mortuary Assistant puts you in a job that already feels uncomfortable before anything scary even happens. You're working late shifts at a small mortuary, doing normal embalming tasks, when strange things start going on around you. What makes the game stand out is how it mixes routine work with horror. You're following checklists, preparing bodies, and doing your job like normal, while the environment slowly messes with you. The main goal isn't just to survive. You also have to figure out which body is actually possessed and perform the right ritual to stop whatever's haunting the building. The scares don't always happen in the same way either, so each playthrough can feel a little different. If you like horror that feels personal and unpredictable, this is a single-player experience that really sticks with you.
I suffer no bondage but this rotting, weak, pathetic corpse. Look at me! Look at this pitiful flesh I am service to. But this body is no longer mine. I have my
Once told me that the strength to stand alone is the strength to make a stand. To serve a purpose greater than myself. And for the good of all. I carry those words with me on the hunt, no matter where it takes me.
Horizon Forbidden West is a single-player game that feels big the moment you step into its world. The amount of content and sheer scale you get, from the massive map to the long story and side quests, makes it feel like a game that actually earns its full price. The story follows Aloy as she travels west to stop a mysterious threat that could wipe out what's left of humanity. Combat is flexible and satisfying, letting you take down giant machines using bows, traps, gadgets, and smart positioning. Each machine feels like a puzzle, and fights stay interesting even dozens of hours in. Movement and exploration are also way smoother this time, with tools that let you climb, glide, and even explore underwater areas. Horizon Forbidden West delivers a full, polished experience with strong gameplay, a huge world, and a long adventure that's worth your time. Signalis is one of those horror games that looks simple at first, but ends up pulling you in way deeper than you expect. The atmosphere, story, and overall experience feel polished enough to justify paying full price. Gameplay sticks to classic survival horror. You're managing limited ammo, solving puzzles, and deciding when it's better to fight or just stay out of trouble. Supplies are tight, so every decision actually matters, which keeps the tension high. What really makes Signalis stand out is the mood. The music, sound effects, and visuals work together to create this constant, uneasy feeling. Even when nothing scary is happening, it still feels like something is off. Signalis isn't flashy or huge, but it knows exactly what it wants to be. If you're into horror that's focused, atmospheric, and memorable, this is a game that feels worth. Control is a game that gets more interesting the deeper you go into it. With its strange story and smooth combat, it delivers a complete experience that feels genuinely rewarding. The story takes place inside the Federal Bureau of Control, a massive, shifting building where reality doesn't follow normal rules. Gameplay mixes third-person shooting with supernatural powers. You're not just using guns, you're throwing objects, levitating, and taking control of enemies. Combat feels fast and fun, and unlocking new abilities keeps everything feeling fresh. The building is packed with hidden areas, side missions, and weird bits of lore told through documents and environmental details. If you're into stylish action and creative gameplay, this is a game that's easy to recommend.
That's all I can remember of that dream. This is an ordinary song about an ordinary girl from an ordinary...
Divinity Original Sin 2 gives you a crazy amount of freedom from the moment you start. With its long story, deep RPG systems, and choices that actually matter, the whole experience feels rich enough to justify paying full price. Combat is turn-based, but it never feels slow. Positioning, environmental effects, and skill combos all matter. You can set the battlefield on fire, freeze enemies, teleport characters, or mix abilities in smart ways. Every fight feels more like a puzzle than a simple numbers game. Exploration is just as rewarding. Towns, dungeons, and hidden areas are packed with side quests, secrets, and characters that react to what you do. The game encourages you to experiment instead of following a single path. If you want a deep RPG that rewards creativity and feels complete from start to finish, this one absolutely earns its price.
Attracted by our forbidden magic.
The people turned to the Order for help, but then the Order turned on the people.
Those of us that remain are being hunted, and with good reason. One of us will ascend and become the god Rivellon so desperately needs.
But not yet. First, we must fight. Together and alone, we must fight for the future of our world.
There's a big mountain to climb. We can do it together. But when we reach that summit, only one of us can be divine.
Sekiro Shadows Die Twice drops you into a brutal, fast-paced world where every fight feels intense. The combat, level design, and overall polish make it feel like a full experience that's absolutely worth the price. The story follows a shinobi trying to protect his young lord in a war-torn version of feudal Japan. Combat is the real focus here. Instead of just dodging around, you're parrying, countering, and staying aggressive. Timing is everything. Once the system clicks, fights feel smooth, fast, and super satisfying. Boss battles are tough, but beating them feels like a real accomplishment. Sekiro isn't about grinding or endless upgrades. It's about skill, learning enemy patterns, and getting better with every fight. If you like challenging games that reward mastery, this one delivers a strong, memorable experience that feels worth every dollar.
My lord, I have come for you. So the noble shinobi stands in our way.
It seems fate still doesn't want you dead.
Together in death, crafted the one thing that could challenge Sauron, a ring of power. But power can blind those who seek it.
Celebrimbor!
The great deceiver has returned to Middle-earth to rebuild his armies, to rule all. The corruption will be contained no longer.
Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor drops you right into the harsh side of Tolkien's world. You play as Talion, a ranger who's stuck in Mordor after losing everything. The coolest part of the game is the nemesis system. Orcs actually remember you. If one of them kills you, he comes back stronger and acts like he owns the place. If you beat him, that story ends. It makes every fight feel personal instead of just another random battle. Combat is fast and fun. You can sneak around, fight head-on, or use special abilities to scare enemies and turn them against each other. As you unlock more skills, you start feeling stronger, but the game still keeps you on your toes. Shadow of Mordor keeps things simple, but in a good way. It's easy to pick up, fun to play, and the enemy system makes every run feel a little different. Baldur's Gate 3 throws you into a fantasy world that feels real right away. You're infected with a weird parasite, stuck with a group of strangers, and trying to survive in a place where nothing ever goes as planned. Everyone around you has their own problems and secrets, so things get complicated fast. What makes the game so fun is how much freedom you have. You can talk your way out of trouble, sneak around, use magic in creative ways, or just start swinging. Combat is turn-based, but it stays interesting. Positioning matters, teamwork matters, and the environment can help you win fights. You can push enemies off ledges, set things on fire, or combo spells for big damage. The world is packed with stuff to do. There are side quests, hidden areas, and characters that feel like real people, not just NPCs. You'll probably get distracted a lot, but in a good way. Red Dead Redemption 2 takes the #1 spot for a reason. If there's one game that really feels worth paying full price for, it's this one. Just because of how much effort and detail went into every part of it. The world feels alive in a way most games don't. People remember you, towns change, animals act like animals, and random moments can turn into full stories. You're not just running from mission to mission, you're living in the world. Gameplay is slower and more grounded, but that's part of the charm. Riding across huge landscapes, hunting, camping, talking to strangers, and getting into tense shootouts all feel meaningful. Even the small stuff adds to the experience. Red Dead Redemption 2 doesn't just look good, it feels complete. It's big, detailed, and packed with moments that stick with you.
Just one more. There's always a goddamn tree.
I don't want to kill all these food Dutch. Just you.
What about loyalty? Loyal to what matters.
Do as you're goddamn told.
It is us or him.